So just know that you're very welcome right now. Like there is happiness and joy and gladness that you have chosen to be right here, right now. There is love vibrating, present. And it's a love that you can lean into, that you can become soft in. So the vibration that we are sharing in consciousness is a vibration of love that we are all sharing and that we are held in. So just relax. Allow yourself to relax. This is a safe vibration. It's a safe space to drop the protection in. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do anything. It's an invitation to drop some of the defenses, some of your structures, some of the activities. Just be soft. Allow yourself to be soft. And again, there is no pressure. You don't need to become soft. It's an invitation you may answer. It's entirely up to you. There is no pressure. There is no expectation. So just be. nothing needs to happen. You don't have to go anywhere. There's nothing you need to understand. There is no level of control that you need to maintain. If you long for it, you can just dissolve, just merge with that which cannot be put into words. Just merge with the undefined. That which is without limits or definition. And just observe the reactions and movements and even thoughts. Just observe all of that. You don't particularly need to give them any attention per se, just know or observe that they're there. But you don't really need to dive into and investigate them that much. And neither do you need to push them away or silence them. Just whatever is present, whatever is taking form inside of the emptiness. Just allow that to be, which without too much interest in it. So it is a softening of the being of mind is a softening of mind's activity, which itself is a softening of mind's existence. And yes, there may be ideas if you are doing it right or wrong, if this is what you're experiencing right now. Some evaluation of your current experience going on. Allow that evaluation to go on, but do not believe in it. Do not give it any value itself. Just don't be so very interested in it at all. Let it do its thing, understanding your experience without you being so interested in that activity. And yes, it is a letting go on a level before you're even aware of that there is holding on. So without even knowing how to just make that inverted action. By just be disinterested. Neither positive or negative towards the experience, towards the referencing and the evaluation going on. It is a valid activity in itself. It has its value. But for now, we're just letting it be. Just let your perception be open. looking or listening with your awareness, with your being, not listening or looking for any specific thing that you can put form or a shape or name on, but just looking, listening, opening perception, just to experience the very opening of perception itself. So it's not for the inner seeing to land on anything. It's not for the hearing to pick up any signal. It is just for the openness of perception to be. There will be some frustration from the egoic mind. And again, just allow that to be. Don't give it that much attention. Don't be so interested in that frustration. Just allow it to be and do its thing without you inhabiting that activity so much. And just see that mind trying to understand. If you yourself feel that you are trying to understand, this experience right now, well, then you are identified in limited mind. And just know that in that identification, you can understand nothing outside of limited mind itself. You as limited mind can only understand your own creations inside that mind. So just don't be so interested in understanding. Soften your grip on that and see that you are really not bound to the egoic mind. And if you do this, then understanding can be experienced, but not with mind. So, whatever is going on, if you just allow it to be exactly as it is, finding acceptance, and not being so intimately interested in it, you will find that whatever it is that this movement is made in, it becomes transparent. So it's like you're sitting at home and a salesman knocks on the door. You don't open the door and engage in that conversation, but neither do you actively block it out or turn the person away. You just remain in your home, not even paying that much attention to the knocking. You notice it's going on, and that's it. You don't allow it to do anything more to your mind. So, in that example, we are mostly living our lives constantly in the doorway, talking to all the visitors, listening to what they have to say, and engaging in our own replies to them. And we believe that we are that conversation. And because this is going on, we never even experience the comfort of the stillness sitting inside our home, relaxing in the sofa. Because we are always attending the door and the outside activities that we don't even realize there is a home inside we can relax in. There is stillness to be had. Inside of us, as we learn to not attend the knocking to the door of our attention. We are so identified in these characters knocking, as they are vibrations living inside our physical and non-physical bodies. So we believe we are them. So we have to attend when they knock. And being in stillness, seeing clearly the knocking going on, seeing who the visitor at the door is, seeing that it's not us, but it's something foreign to our true nature, who we really are, we can bit by bit learn to dictate our own movement and not let our movements be dictated by these vibrations that we are housing in the physical body, in the ego, in the personal structure. So whatever come knocking on your attention, just allow it to be. Allow it to play out with moderate interest. Don't stop it, but don't engage in and believe in its story either. Just allow it to play out on the side without really moving you at all. It is moving in you, but you don't have to be moved by it. Because when you are, then you have become identified in that movement, in that activity itself. And then your perception is limited by it. And we need to not block these things out. We need to not pretend that there is no one knocking on the door, because that blocking itself is a activity, and then we're already hijacked by the one knocking. That character is then dictating our movement, the movement of blocking, which is a direct relating to that knocking. So we just allow the knocking and we allow the character to be at the door. And we see that that is where they are, at the door, outside of the house, and we are in the house. So there is a level of disidentification as this plays out. And knowing that, we can fully allow anything to surface. And play out. This is how we become transparent inside to all these vibrations that we are carrying in our structure. So finding the true self, finding your home, getting to know yourself at home, opens up for the possibility to see all these things, all these visitors, clearly, from a clear-sighted perspective. And then we can start the process of adding transparency to them. Purifying our mind one visitor at a time. So it's about coming home to yourself, resting in yourself. From that stillness that you are, from there all movement out into the world starts. And as you do this, you will come to see and come to realize that all this relating is really stories you're creating to yourself. And they only hold value inside of their own creation. And we enter into this space where you see you can choose to hold on to everything and anything, because it's all true in the context of its own story. And also nothing of it is true. Not even the story about yourself. or where you evaluate experience from. It is also true that there is no truth in any of the valuation or creation of meaning. It's all just open-ended roads. And you can choose to be completely open in all directions and dimensions, having your inner perception, your seeing, your hearing, identified in that very open action of perceiving itself, not identifying with any of the objects that are perceived, but seeing you are really that which is the very perception itself. Not losing yourself in the perceived. And this is completely nauseating, completely disorientating to the identification you may have in form. This is the realization that nothing that you know is so. And this stepping into and being relaxed in that openness that creates the opening to not be limited by your ideas and your concepts. That creates an opening to experience the reality of experience as it unfolds, unfiltered by all these identification in stories, especially about who you are and the platform from where you evaluate. So it opens up for a non-evaluating, a non-referencing way of being. We are truly intimate with experience, moment to moment, as it unfolds. 'Cause there is no you having your own form. It is just the experience as you unfolding moment by moment. All of history only existing as history in that moment. And all future only existing as a future of that moment containing all of the future inside that very moment. Future having no more meaning than the concept of future in that moment. So we enter into a very vast reality in all directions. And at the same time, every experience you're having as an ego, as a person, as the limited mind, is the very expression of this infinite vastness taking on form. They are coexisting. Coexisting, the word itself points to there being two things existing, but really it's the same thing. Just two aspects of it. And even that two aspects, we have stepped away from the unity of the phenomena as it is being described right now in words from the aspect of form. We have already fallen from that. Unlimited vastness perspective. So it is nothing that can be grasped from inside of the limited mind in its limited, defining, conceptualizing way of perceiving reality. But when we come face to face with the infinite, the limitless vastness, when we come face to face with that as our own experience, the sheer volume of it, the sheer intensity or force of it, if you will, makes it impossible for the very small and limited ego to stand against it. If the ego remains somewhat open so the experience can be had, then the ego has no alternative but to surrender. It may try to cling on, and the pain in that resistance will be felt. And that is the resistance of awakening. But a tremendous force moving in the experience of the infinite. In the light of that awareness, the ego has no choice but to perish eventually. And what we're left is still I. I remain. But the limited form is no longer limited. We see that all perspectives hold truth in them. There is no opposition between left or right. They are two aspects of the very same phenomena, both bringing content into the experience. There is no right and wrong. There is no more value in what is right than in what is wrong. They are two aspects of the very same phenomena, adding content and richness to the experience. And if I, as a person, as the limited I learn to embrace what is often perceived as contradicting forces, if I stop holding on to one perspective and embrace both perspectives, and eventually all perspectives, I expand, adding awareness and content to the experience, no longer allowing myself to be identified in one or a few stories, but seeing that they all share the same phenomena. And it's a dance between these interlaced aspects of the same thing, just appearing to be different things. So when you as a person find that you have resistance towards something, calling on your home position, bringing awareness into that which perceives, stepping home into yourself. Embracing that resistance and that which is resisted, expanding yourself to be even that. Seeing that all resistance is a invitation to let go of your own limitations. Allowing the infinite to exist in the finite. So I invite you to stay in the awareness you're in and opening your eyes slowly and see if you can remain in the same awareness with your eyes open. So, as you may feel, it's nothing you can force. It's just a relaxation into your own being.